Eyes up here. Phones are away, right? Where they should be. Yoder? Come on. Thank you. So just a quick warm-up. We'll do this together. Is there a GCF? No. Is it a difference of squares? Yeah. Any variable to an even power is a perfect square, and 1's a perfect square, right? And it's minus. So how do I factor that? 1 or 2 sets of parentheses? 2. How do I get the numbers that go, or terms that go inside? It's not cube roots. It's difference of squares. So we're going to do square root. What's the square root of x to the 6th? X to the 3rd was square root of 1. Then what? Come on. What goes between our terms? Plus and minus. Thanks. Right? We good? So what are these? Sum and difference of cubes, right? So now what do I do for this? Cube root. How many terms will be in the first parenthesis? 2. How many in the second? 3. All right? So what's the cube root of x cubed? X. What's the cube root of 1? Addition or subtraction? Addition. How do I get the trinomial? What do I do? Square x, the first term. Do this. Get that blue out of there. What's the middle term? Multiply those. Is it plus or minus? Opposite. It's minus, right? What about the third term? Square that. Plus or minus? Always plus, right? We good on that one? What about this? Same thing, isn't it? So what goes in the binomial part? X minus 1, because it's minus, right? And what's our trinomial part? X squared plus x plus 1. Okay? Again, that's just at a difference of squares and sum and difference of cubes. All right? Just to get us going. All right, so then our homework answers. I've got them all here. There's number 1. You guys can look at it if you want. Just took out the GCF. That's all you can do. Just checking your work quick. I think most of you got it, most of all of them right, going over them. But just check. No GCF there. That's a difference of squares. Square root of 16r squared is 4r. Square root of 169 is 13. 1's a plus, 1's a minus. What happens with number 5? To start. What do we always look for? What is it? 2, thank you. Then I have a difference of squares. So square root of y squared is y. Square root of 120 is 11. 1's a plus, 1's a minus. What do we call this one, number 7? Just did it. Difference of cubes, right? So the binomial is the cube root of that, 2m. The cube root of that, 1, same sign, minus. Square this to get the first term of the trinomial. Multiply those together, 2m, but opposite sign. So since that was minus, that's plus. And then square 1, and that's always positive. They always work the same way. Just follow that procedure for those. Regular trinomial, a is 1, so all I do is look at c. Factors at c that add up to -3 is this last pair. So you don't have to rewrite it as a grouping problem. You can just go x plus 2, x minus 5. It's going to work when that's a 1 in front. You just put x times x. And number 11, the a is 4. So I got to multiply the 4 times the -3 to get -12. And I'm looking for factors of -12 that add up to 1. Which are these are the ones we just used, basically. So I rewrote it as 4a squared plus 4a minus 3a minus 3. If you wanted to go 4a squared minus 3a plus 4a, you want to switch those, it'll still work. Yes, he was here. You welcome. All right, so again, this shouldn't matter, that order, okay? I took out a 4A for the first group, A plus 1 is left. Remember when that's a negative, pull out the negative sign and then 3 in both, so A plus 1's left. So A plus 1 becomes one of my factors, and then the 2 GCFs we pulled out becomes the other factor. So we turn that one into a grouping problem. That's when A is 2 or bigger. We have to do that multiplication part and change it. Okay? Right, Andy? Number 13, another regular trinomial. A is 1. So I just looked at factors of 96. It added up to 20. It was 8 and 12. Since that's addition, they're both addition. If that was minus, these are supposed to be minus. Again, if it's a negative there, then you got a plus and a minus. One's going to be addition, one's going to be subtraction. So that C value helps you with signs. Okay, this is one of those special trinomials. A lot of kids just, since A was 1, it was really easy. The factors of 16 to add up to -8 or -4, -4. But the 1, 2, 3 test works when you recognize that these are both positive perfect squares. The square root of x squared is number 1, the square root of 16 is number 2, and then you multiply those, and if that answer is half the middle, then you can write number 1 in front, number 2 in the back, the same sign as the b value, and square it. So either way works. Okay? You can do those both methods. Okay, we are frozen. So let's see if I can find it. It's the wrong one, chapter P. Factorama, odd answers, right? Where's the answers though? I want the blue thing though. Did I miss it? You guys okay back there? Must be this one. All right, number 17. All right. Number 17, nothing's common to all four, so we group them. The normal way we try to group is first two, last two. And this works out. X was common to the first two, negative y to the second two. I get x plus 2 is one of my factors, and x minus y is my other factor. Most of you did well on that one. This one, take out the 4x squared first. And then you have a difference of squares. So the square root of x to the fourth is x squared. Where one's 1, one's plus, one's minus, but that one's another difference of squares. So these two don't change. That one, square root of x squared is x, where one's 1, one's a minus, one's a plus. So again, keep going. Factor completely. Questions? All right, 21. Took the 5 out. Difference of squares, square root's 3x, square root's 4y, plus and minus. Simple. Questions? I know I'm going fast, but I think most of you got all these. 23 was the tough one. Okay, we tried to factor group by grouping things. Yeah. We tried to factor by grouping, and first two, last two doesn't work. So we have to do The first three. Really long. All right, so again, it didn't work out because we didn't have the same thing in our parentheses once we took out GCF stuff. So when you do the first three, it's one of those special trinomials that the 1, 2, 3 test works. Square root of that's 2a, square root of that's 3b, multiplying 6ab is half of 12ab. So number 1 in the front, number 2 in the back, and that b's sign, so it's addition, and you square it. Well, now I have something squared minus, so that's a square because that whole thing is squared, and 25 and c are squared, perfect squares. So I have a difference of squares. So I took the square root of this. The square root of something squared is itself. That's where the 2a plus 3b in the front came. The square root of this was 5c, that's in the back, and then addition between and subtraction between. So that looks a little different. Got 3 terms instead of 2 like normal. 2 trinomials. And then the last one, took out 5y squared, and then this is a sum of cubes. Cube root of that's y, cube root of that's 3, same sign. Square that for the first term, multiply those together for the middle, opposite signs, square the 3, always positive the third one. So a quick going over of those problems. Questions? Did you need a pass? Good. All right, so today I have practice quiz for you to work on. A lot of people got done. If you get done, show me. Work on it though. Don't waste this time if you're not working on it. Okay? And then when you get done, show me. If you don't get done, you can show me tomorrow as soon as you come in. We'll go over that tomorrow. Quiz will be Friday. Get it? Got it? Good? Good, better, best? Don't let it rest. Your good is better. Your better is best. Look good, feel good?
You are good.
You are good. Yeah. You guys are awesome. Doing a great job.
Look good, feel good, you are good. I'm not good.
Yes, you are.